And we are live. Hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thank you all
Hello.
for always watching the Molly Show. Give us 1 second. Let's share our live stream and then we can start.
Let's do it.
Ladies, let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Okay.
Give us 1 second. Let's share our live stream. Okay, I did share. So I'm going to copy the link and start and send it to a group chat so we can put it on our status.
Okay, I've shared the link. The
Okay.
I've shared also.
On
Okay.
Facebook.
So,
Okay.
all right. I'm going to also share with our guests. So everybody has a link.
I'm sharing it in the status right now.
Yeah. So the link that I just sent to your chat is the one that
Mm-hmm.
you can share to have your friends join us. You can share in your little groups.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're done, ladies, go ahead and kick it off.
I'm done. Hey, let's know when you're ready so that we can proceed.
Okay. Thank you. Let me try to share it on Facebook now.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead. Take it off.
Thank you. Okay. Can we just I shared on yeah, we can go on now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys, thank you for that. Welcome to another episode of the Molly Show. We are always looking forward to hang out with you guys. My name is Miss Molly, and today I'm here with these two amazing ladies, Miss Olivia, Miss Henrietta, and we are the
Hello.
co-hosts of the Molly Show.
Yes, like Miss Molly just said, you all are welcome. Last week we had a special day, which was Father's Day. Shout out to all the Father's Days ladies. Happy Father's Day
Yay!
still. I know it's still the month for Father's Day, so we're still celebrating you all because you guys are amazing. Today in the Molly Show, we have two amazing dads. And the first dad is Mr. Ta Eric, and another dad, amazing dad. They're so special to me. Both of them is Mr. Kalabe Emmanuel. You're welcome.
Ooh,
All right. So before I introduce these two gentlemen, we're going to bring them in.
okay.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Eric Ta, and hi, Mr. Galabe Emmanuel. You are live with us.
Hello.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, let me start with I like to do when I'm talking about one person, I like to bring the person ahead so
Mhm.
everybody knows who I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Mr. Eric Ta, aka Don Manyang. So,
You're
as
welcome,
many
sir.
people, yeah, may know,
You're
he
welcome.
is
Yes,
a
thank you.
14-year veteran in the U.S. Armed Forces, deployed a few times overseas, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He is the current vice president of the Committee of Gentlemen in San Antonio, an organization with over 100 registered members. And he is also running to become their president. That's interesting.
Yes.
And he also doubles as a branding director of the San Antonio Veterans, popularly called SAVED. And he works as a release chain engineer. And he also identifies himself as a motivational speaker. Manyang, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. It's really my pleasure to be with you all. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining us. So our next guest is Mr. Emmanuel Galabe. So Mr. Emmanuel Galabe is an IT professional and an IT instructor, a father and a husband. He's currently the CFO, that's the Chief Financial Officer of Comigen, and has
Mm.
held that post, I think, for the past 4 years. Currently, he's also seeking the elections into the office of the president of Comigen. with a strong desire to bring forth positive changes, for posterity. He is a seasoned senior SQL and Azure database administrator, a community lover, and puts in all in every community endeavor to succeed. And he has a favorite quote. He says, a good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or a pen, then you have something very special. Wow, I've never heard of
Wow.
this. So this
Wow.
quote is from Nelson Mandela, Tired and
Oh,
Hope, an authorized biography, 1991. All right, now we learned something today. Thank you so much, Mr. Galavia, and thank you all for joining us. So, ladies, we have our guest here.
Thank you.
Let's get rolling.
okay. We are so happy to have you guys. We have a question. Today is a special for Father's Day. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the Father's Day questions. And later on in the show, we're gonna start asking you guys about comedian and politics and all this juicy stuff. I'm gonna start with Mr. Eric Tarr. Could you please tell us how you felt when you realized that you were going to be a dad for the first time?
Okay. Thank you so very much. Wow. Thinking about this question, this takes me back 13 years ago. So that's when, my then wife conceived, and we're all excited and fired up to have our first child. The good thing is my son is right here with me as well, spending the holidays. So when I look at him, that throws back that, it takes me back, back history lane, and I feel, and I still, relieve that period when it was the first time for me to become a father. I think it is an exciting thing. I mean, the excitement you can really you can really explain to someone, right? It's a kind of excitement that you need to live it, right? So excitement number one is I was like, wow, always looking at your wife and watching her stomach grow bigger and bigger every day,
Yeah.
and having that opportunity to go to doctor's appointment. And I remember the very first doctor appointment we went to was to check the heartbeat of the child, and
Oh,
that was my first time to kind of see that, right? They do the sonogram thing and you see a little thing flicking in there and stuff like that, and they said that's the heartbeat of the child, everything looks good and stuff like that. So it's really, really amazing. It's something that, any one of you father has to live it, just be there with your wife and, go to the appointments and live it and feel it. You see it, the change from nothing to a child growing the stomach and stuff like that. I would say the excitement was unbelievable. Nothing could stop me from going for an appointment with my then wife. I went for every doctor's appointment. I was there. I watched the process of my son, growing in the tummy of her mom all the way to the day of his birth and stuff like that. So I think excitement is something that is really, really wonderful. Of course, there's that happiness, right? The thought of
mhm.
becoming a father and welcoming a child into
Mhm.
the it
Yeah.
gives that deep sense of happiness and fulfillment. It's I mean the joy
Mhm.
that you feel is wonderful. But to be honest, everything feels exciting and stuff, but some nervousness will come in as well. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you're like, oh wow, you get nervous, you think about it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be having a child in the house, I'm gonna have a baby, oh I'm gonna be a daddy. And
Mhm.
what does that mean to you? It creates some that nervousness, right? You begin to try to figure out in you, like, okay, what is it gonna mean? How is this gonna be life changing to me? Because it is a life changing event to become a
Event.
father, right?
Yeah.
How it's going to be life changing to me, and all that process of trying to assimilate or to think about it, it creates that sense of nervousness into you a little bit. But I would say one very good thing that comes to that is, I would say, the sense of responsibility. Realizing you're going to be a dad,
Mhm.
it heightens that sense of responsibility. You feel like, okay, now I'm going to be in the role where I am protecting. I am the head of the household. I am taking
Yes.
care. People are calling me dad. I just got a new title and stuff like that. All that is kind of, it's a different world, right? I can go as much as I want to go to explain how you feel the very first time you think you're gonna become a dad. But trust me, it's something that as a boy, as a man, you need to live it. That excitement, that happiness, the nervousness, the sense of responsibility, the supportiveness and everything that comes to that is really really wonderful. So I think I would say in a nutshell, it's something I live that I think you live it once in life, the very first time you're gonna
Really.
become a father. Yeah, thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
It's a
I
different.
understand that feeling. That feeling you're saying that you just have to experience it. No matter how you want to explain it, you cannot have
Yeah.
words for it.
That's
I
right.
understand. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Mr. Ta Eric. And listening to you, I heard you talking about to my then wife. So you're telling me you're divorced. So, oh, am I getting the cat out of the basket? Because
Not
you
Yeah, I think
mentioned that.
you're going further than that. Okay.
Yeah, not really. Not really. It is an unfortunate situation. It is. I would say it's something that I don't wish for any gentleman. I don't, anyone that I don't care what you're going through, but do your possible best to see that if you're having issues with your wife, make sure that somehow, you seek for a resolution that can, especially when you have kids involved in your matrimony, right? It is a very very tough situation. I will be honest with you. I have been in San Antonio 4 years now, and when I moved to San Antonio, no one actually knew anything about me. They just say there's a gentleman that showed up in town, all excited and fired up and stuff like that. But I was actually going through marital issues I think my up and down in the military, being home, being deployed overseas, and other circumstances, led to a situation where the marriage foundation was kind of, it got weakened, and at the end of it, we were struggling to even, get things to work, but it didn't work. We tried everything we could try, it didn't work, and myself and my then wife, we accepted that, what, for our health, personal health, the health of myself, her health, and the health of the kids as well, it would be better that we just part our ways and stay where we can be, and but do our utmost best to take care of our kids. You all always see me here in San Antonio. Every summer break, my children come to me. I love them so much, and yes, I would say, I got divorced, unfortunately. Is it an easy task? No. I have had moments where I would completely have an emotional breakdown, right? I have friends that can testify to that. I will go into my very deep, dark moments. I would think about it. I think of my kids. I can't be for them 24/7, 365 days a year. I got to have them here just for maybe a month or two during the summer break. And that hurts. That hurts, especially if you love these kids. That hurts so much. So there are moments that I've actually broken down into tears, and I would cry and I would wipe my eyes. I just say, you know what, I gotta live on. I gotta move on. So I want to say that yes, you're not letting the cat out of the bag. Yeah, I went through a divorce, and it is a sad situation, and I still feel bad about it, and I say I feel bad about it most especially because of my children. Because of my kids. I love them so much. They're all I have. They're all I got. But that is the situation, right? So I would say it is a last resort. It is an ultimate last resort. Don't I would advise, the young men around me, the junior ones coming up, never seek for a divorce as a solution to the relationship, especially when kids are involved. Unless it becomes life threatening, right? Then that's another ball game.
Okay.
If
Okay.
it
Yeah.
becomes life threatening, it's not a route to go. So I'm living the repercussions, I'm living the difficulties of it, I'm living the emotional breakdowns of it, and I don't wish that for anyone, and that's why I stand really strong to advise against that, to my fellow gentlemen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ta.
Thank you.
Really appreciate what you're sharing to us. That really means a lot to us and to the viewers out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Galabe, we have a question for you.
Sure.
What we would like to know is about fatherhood. Are there things you wish you had done differently as a father at this point in time?
Hmm.
Uh, as a father, first of all, fatherhood, it's really an amazing experience. You don't want to know the joy that you can see somebody run to you and say,
I
"Daddy."
know.
Imagine. how you used to look up to your dad, call your dad for attention and all of that. So it comes that time in your life where you have to step in that shoe, right? And coincidentally, it's about 13 years and counting, same time that I had my first daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's really been an amazing thing. Having her at that time, Cameroon not having, the means and all of those,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, am I ready for this? Did I actually, you know, do the right thing? But hey, the very day the baby cried, the very day I held her on my hands, it was different. A
Mm-hmm.
lot changed. Something natural comes in you and, makes you a dad.
Wow.
You have that different feeling once you actually carry your child in your hand, which is automatic. And I think that is just God's nature, right?
Yes.
Because not being a father, there are things that you underlook. But once you step into that shoe, your life changes, your actions changes, the things you do changes. Your life also change because you are not living your life now for yourself. You have people who are looking
Yes.
up to, and you have people you need to take care of. Are there things I would have done as a father differently? I would say yes. I can regret one or two actions. Maybe, for my daughter who just joined me, I couldn't be
Mhm.
there, you know, for it's been over 7 years and even in counting, even while I was still in Cameroon, hustling with,
Mm-hmm.
getting life going. I wasn't really there like a father to, all the time to have your child grow the way you want. And but I had support from, my mom, parents, and all of that. So that is the little thing that I think if I could have a more settings where you can grow with all your kids and impact what you want them to be from the start, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be something that, will be remarkable then. But then everything works good for the Lord.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, there are things we've done that, could have been done differently. But if the end result is where we are,
Mm-hmm.
I think right now I'm amongst the happiest people in San Antonio. I would say,
Wow, I
Aw,
love that.
with the entire family together. You don't know the joy that I have when
I
we all sit together, we talk. And I can see two girls, by my side. Daddy, this person wants my attention. This person, the feeling is just so awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. Before we go to the next question, Mr. Emmanuel Galabi, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I can say how happy you are. Trust me, I understand. Uh, I'm just going to give a shout out to our viewers who are always there. I'll say hi to Miss Doris Rich Girl. Thank you always for joining us. We have Mr. Kenzo Libuta. He says, "Hello, great people. Hi, Kenzo."
Hi.
We have Miss Nora Atanga. She says, "Hey, hi, Nora." We have Miss Sabina Esime, and she says we are present. We have greetings from Dr. Harry Tebu. Thank you for joining us.
thank you, doctor.
And okay, Mr. Miss, I hope I'm doing that right. It's Sabina, right? She says to Mr. Don Manyan, thank you for sharing your experience. That's not something easy to share.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Nora Tamda also says, thanks for sharing what you went through, Mr. Ta. And then we have Mr. Wang Chong. Oh, yeah, Mr. Chong
Mm-hmm.
Wang. He says, this is a good topic for discussion. Thank you, Mr. Chong Wang. We also have Mr. Kenzo Libota saying, this is a lot of wisdom, gentlemen. So, and we have Mr. Kenneth Howe watching us live from home. Thank you all so much. We have a really great audience today. So, back to you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Olivia, for that. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Ta and Mr. Galabi. I know, Mr. Galabi, I can see the smile on your face, and I'm so pleased to tell you the second question because you're an amazing guy and you have my husband's name. That's why I love you from the bottom of my heart. You know that.
Wow,
Everybody loves
wow.
my has my husband's name. and got my heart. My question goes to you, this Mr. Galabe. Do you think today's fathers have things harder or easier than you had them? Like, do you think today's fathers have things harder or easier than you had then?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I would say it's harder than it used to be. First, I want to take like culture is changing a lot, right?
Right.
A lot is happening. So back in the days, there are things you can't say to your father. There are
Mm-hmm.
when your father is around, you really wouldn't sit around unless you are granted that permission. But now it's different, right? Societal thinking, all of that is different. There are questions your kids ask you now, you wonder, hey, you have attempted this, back in the day. So it was a lot easier for parents back in the day because of, the social context in that time where, you have to look up to your parents, when you just have to listen. And again, culture, right? Coming from where we come from, you just had to respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that will be used to make you respect, even if you don't want to, right?
Yes.
And it's
I think
changing. Even
what some of the things. Let me hear.
well, we we all have Dr. Dogood,
Yes.
right? So corporal punishment also, has been one of the things that helped that's back in the days.
Mhm.
That culture, even back in Africa, has gone away. It's hard to see
Mm-hmm.
people use the cane
Yes.
right now in Africa. So that is changing. So it makes it more difficult because trust me, I'm still one of those who think that due to the corporal punishment I receive, my life has changed in one or two direction.
Oh
I
yeah.
just
Yes.
things are changing. We're gonna move with the way things change, but I still believe that those are some of the things that when we were growing helped us to shape us,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we go out of the way and we are getting heady, right? So it's more difficult parents nowadays because in the past you could want your child to be what you want her to be, and you have all the tools to make her become what he's going to be. If you look at 90% of those that are over the age bracket of 30 and above, will tell you that they are either one or two things because maybe their parents choose that they go that direction, or their parents guide them in that direction. But hey, things have changed, right?
Right.
Now, you know, they tell everybody, let the child decide for herself, let her do what she wants, right? And
Mm-hmm.
children now, they grow with that mentality. They already, I don't know, for some reason the society is what it is, but hey, they are growing with that mentality, right? You as a parent, you have a desire, right? You really want to see your family at a certain place where you know you can say, well, I am a proud person because this is where my family is. And like we all say in Africa, you always want your children to be better than you. You grow to become better than your father, and you want your kids to excel more than you, to always take that step ahead of where you're ending. So it's more challenging with the
Yes.
global world, with you know all the restrictions, both societal, both legal, and all of that. But again, the only thing we're gonna look up to right now is God for direction and guidance, because by yourself, trust me, you're not gonna do it.
Man.
You need God's direction and guidance. You can put in your best, right? And
Right.
we see it every day. You can put in your best, but your child
Yes.
doesn't come out what you want. And
Mm-hmm.
you sit in your room and weep and say, you know what, where did you go wrong? Right? So the only thing is we're gonna leave it up to God, and we're gonna hope that He's gonna guide us and guide the kids, to follow that direction. Because even the Bible says it, right? Honor your parents, honor your mother, your father. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what we live up to, and we hope that with God's guidance, we're going to make it through. But generally, it's harder nowadays than back then.
That's
Wow.
true.
Wow. Mr. Ngalabe, thank you so much for that. That really, like what you said, is so true because these kids nowadays, they are so privileged. So it's a challenge for us parents right now in this generation. Mr. Eric, I have a question for you based on what Mr. Ngalabe was saying. What I want to know, what tradition did your father pass on to you that you would like to pass on to your children? Is it
Awesome.
Dr. Dogood?
Well, thank you very much for that. And but actually move into answering your question, I was just want to piggyback behind Gentleman Galabe and
Okay.
accept as well that the tides have really changed. I
Yeah.
remember my days growing up, and I would just want to share a story about me a little bit, right? So, I lost my mom at the age of 9, and my dad then had 6 kids, right? He was the only son amongst 3 sisters, and or the only male child amongst 3 sisters, right? And so his sisters were better off, so to speak, right? And I was in the village with him, and or all of us, my siblings. And because he was still young then and had all these kids, and he was working, he was actually driving from Benue to Bamenda where he worked. His sisters that were, more advanced. One was a nurse, one was a pharmacist, and the other one was doing a restaurant business in Babson. And they said, hey, you know what, big bro, because he was the eldest, we're not gonna let you be there with all those kids, right? So they're gonna get them. And so all my aunts, they came and they got all of my dad's children, but he hung tight on me. I'm his first son. He's like, I'm not gonna let you go away. So why am I trying to bring this? I went through a young man that still wasn't in control of his temperament then, and in his own administration as a dad to me, there was no wrong or there's no room for failure, right? None of that. So he hurt me really hard, like Gentleman Galabe was stating. And now when I say hurt, it's Dr. Dogood got me on the rail, right? Like for any error, I will be whipped, I will be beaten. And there are times that he was sick, even if there's no problem. He will walk behind the house and look for kids and prepare them and keep them in anticipation that if I do anything wrong, I'm going to be beaten, right? Cut a long story short, just like Gentleman Garabe said, I am amongst all my siblings, not bragging. I am the best to speak, not the best like, or let me say I am the best in the sense that more advanced education wise, more advanced, any respect, maybe with exception to the number of kids I have. My siblings, they got 4, 5, and 6, and
Wow.
I'm still here hanging on two. So yeah, but so what am I trying to bring this? You have to instill discipline, and that's what my dad
Yes.
did to make me become better. Yes,
Yeah.
times change, right? I am here.
Mhm.
Do I still instill discipline? Oh yes, oh yes. Now you can only change the mechanism. You can only change the way you want to instill discipline in your kids, especially for us in the Western world, where we have that repercussion of facing, the legal system and stuff like that. But guess what? I still tell my kids, if you do something wrong, 1, 2, 3 strikes, we're going out PT. We are either going to the gym and everyone has to run 3 miles or whatever on that treadmill as
Wow.
punishment.
Wow.
Saying, oh, we're gonna
Oh
get
my
down.
God.
We're doing push-ups. All of us, we're giving push-ups. And I make sure because why am I using this tactic? When I showed up in boot camp in 2008, you had people from Alaska, people from New Mexico, people from California, people from Washington, D.C., all these young kids born and bred in the United States that are just jumping off their mother's bed and they show up in boot camp. I went to boot camp in an advanced age. I was already old enough, right? I could discern. But they came there just all confused. What do the drill instructors use to bring us 70 people in a unit to function as one person,
Hmm.
PT? Do anything wrong, you guys will go out and run till your lungs can't breathe anymore. And it's not like one person does it wrong, they go run out of him. No, it's a collective effort. We're gonna make the unit, the team, as one unit, and we're gonna be as strong as the strongest. Not because conversely, if one person is weak, the entire team is weak, right? So I am just introducing this as a tactic that us as parents we can use. You can't go spanking your child anymore like our parents did back in Africa, but here
Mhm.
you can actually do things. Physical exercise is gonna break them and make them.
Mhm.
But the thing is, us as parents with roots from Africa, we barely even find time to do regular physical exercise. Go walk in the park, go ride a bicycle, go jog out there or stuff like that. Usually, I myself, for example, I would say most of the friends that are not around me, all we do is go play soccer. And it's usually just for us, the elders, the big boys. When do you take your kids out physical activity or go do physical activity, or when do you instill that discipline in them in using that So it's just something I wanted to add in that. But coming back to your question, Mr. Bongo, I would say that some of the things I really would think about that my father gave me, and for those that every now and then they watch my status, is traditional music and dance. Right, I really
Oh,
like dancing.
wow.
I think my father started taking me to the village meetings long then when I was still very very young. We're dancing the bagaloon, dancing traditional songs and stuff like that. And I have also, I think it's a great thing. I always would dance with my kids. I would play one song, traditional song from Cameroon, and they will all dance, dance with me and dance with them, we sing, and they're excited. So I instill in them, because I think there's some part of excitement that triggers the brain of the children. If you, as the dad, you're standing at home, you're dancing with them, it amazes them. It touches them on certain spots that nothing else will touch them. So I always would do that with my kids. Another thing that I do with them is, culinary traditions, cooking in the kitchen. You know, they don't like fufu and jama jama, as we call it. They don't like all these African things. But guess what? When they come, I will ask them. When they're here with me over the holidays, what would you guys like to eat? They're trying to hesitate. I say, okay, I'm gonna pick it for you guys. We're eating fufu. Let's go shopping. And I go shop and we cook together. I make sure, hey, Isabel, can you, cut the tomatoes? Joshua, try to get the onion fixed. Hey, let me try to get this and all whatnot. I get them involved, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what, for example, our sisters back that grew up in Cameroon, they grow up and become cooks, expert in cooking. It's not because it is ingrained on their genes, but it's
Yeah.
because they spent a lot of time back in the continent next to
Mhm.
farming, and because of that, they acquire the skills, right? So I take it upon
Mhm.
myself as a father to say anything that I know, because growing up with my dad, being the only child next to him, and he was going to Bamenda, I learned to cook at a very young age, at under 12. I was sitting in the kitchen cooking, not on gas or electricity, but getting that firewood going and
Wood.
feeling that smoke in my eyes and stuff like that. I did that at a very young age, and I think it's made me a better person today. And that's something I would say I acquired that from my dad, and I would definitely like to pass down to my kids. Most importantly, to me, the thing I take most important to pass down to my kids is the respect for elders and ancestors. Right? I believe in the tradition, in our traditions. I believe in our ancestors, and obviously, I believe as well that there's a super being, which is God. I make sure my kids have that distinction, that respect for elder. If you're sitting somewhere and an elderly person walks in, it means you get up
Yes.
and give them a seat and make that to be part of them, right? I make them to respect elders, and I always do this by, say, for example, we went out for a wedding. It's a skill set I acquired from the military. Before I step out with my kids, we have a briefing. What are we gonna do out there? What is gonna be our training out there?
Mm.
That's why when I go out, if you've watched me, you will never see my kids running around, because before we left the house, we have that
Briefing.
Mm.
for them. And when we come back, and if you go and you kind of forget that we had a briefing on your behavior out there, I'll just give you a look.
Side eye.
You what
Bombastic.
Side.
your
So
mind off, right? So, and when we come back home, I always find time to sit with them and be like, okay, what was your impression about the party? How was it? Did you have fun? What did you like about the party? What didn't you like about the party? You see what I'm saying? Just having that conversation and stuff like that. And I will share one story real quick. Last night we were at the wedding, and my daughter came up with, an emotion, right? Like, oh, daddy, we need to go home. We need to go home. We need to go home. Why? I knew why. Her cell phone had run out of battery, and she
yeah.
wasn't comfortable without the cell phone. So this is something we need to instill in this kids. Your life doesn't revolve on your cell phone.
On the
You can still live
right.
a life without the cell phone. So she pushed me, and I decided to leave the party. And guess what? When we came home, the first thing she did was to plug her cell phone and want to sit on it. I said, hey, you better get your peep to bed right now. You pull me
Bedtime.
out of the party that when she come home because you're feeling sleepy, that means we're going to sleep. And if you want to set the precedence that at midnight, we're going to be sleeping. I understand you all on holidays. You could have a late night watching a movie and all or not. But you are in charge. If you want us to go to sleep at 12 every day, we are going to sleep. And you set the precedence yesterday. You said, let's go home. You pulled me out of a wedding and I came home. And now you want to sit on your phone. It don't work that way. So I use those things and make sure you are calling the shots. You decide what you want to do. If
Mhm.
you're going to sit on your phone all night, no, 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 that's not going to work. So I think respect for others and respect for our ancestors is a skill set that I'm really pushing to make sure my kids
Oh my God.
All right.
have.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Okay, before we go
Thank
to the
you.
next question, Sherry, give me 1 minute. Let me just take some reactions from
Okay.
our viewers. Sorry if you see me, I'm touching my phone and all. I'm trying to reply our wonderful audience. Thank you all so much. We have Miss Julian Jodzeka. I hope I said that right. She says hello. Hi, Miss Julian. We have Miss Anago Stephanie. She says great job. Thank you for watching. And we have I don't know if my screen flooded.
Are you okay, Miss
Can you
Molly?
can you still can you
Yeah, we
still
can
hear
hear you.
me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear you. Can
we
hear
can
you.
hear
Oh,
you.
okay. I think let me see. Oh, I think my internet. Okay, all right. I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's fine.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear. We can
Okay,
hear you loud and clear.
all right. So we have Mr. Kenzo Libota again. He says great topic, Molisho host. We have Mr. F.Y. Carey. He says, best regards, anyone. He says, I'm following all the way from Culebra. Thank you for following Mr. Carey. And then we have Miss Anse Gagami, aka Mrs. Galabe. She says,
Mm-hmm.
go baby, I'm here to support you all the way. Job well done to the Molly Show. We have
Thank
Miss
you.
Julian again. She says it's a good topic. And Miss Anse is loving what the VP says Dr. Drugu does it straight. And Mr. Libota says, becoming a father, being with your kids, being in their life, seeing them grow up to who they are is an unexplained feeling. And then Mrs. Galabe was saying, he's giving a thumbs up to what Mr. Ericta said about the kids having like their tablets and their phones in their life. That's a good job. When you go home, if you want to sleep, bedtime it is. Thank you all so much for the love.
Thank you so much, Miss Olivia. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mr. Galabe, Mr. Ted. Thank you so much for what you just said. I just want to chip in one thing. I think the exercise you talked about, I think I have to start doing it with my kids, but I think I have to start doing it with myself first, because a plus size lady, you can't teach somebody to do something while you're plus size and you're just sitting there and watching them. So thank you, and thank you for your advice on tradition and that we should do with kids, how to train them about ancestors and about God. So thank you so much. So over to Miss Molly.
Oh, thank you, Sherry, for that. Mr. Ngalabe, I have one last more question, and then Miss Olivia is going to go with the political questions for you guys. What do you enjoy most about being a dad?
So first of all, being a father alone,
Mhm.
it's so amazing, right? Like the Dr. Kenzo says, that feeling is something, and it's an opportunity. It's not given to everybody. You really have to thank God once you get that opportunity, right?
Right.
Just
Amen.
sitting and discussing with your kids, that there is that inner feeling. You really can't explain it. It's just a lot to enjoy as a dad, just a lot. So
Yeah.
I would say just being a father, that's what I enjoy most, because I really don't think my life would have been, filled if God didn't give me the opportunity to become a father, right? Because we all strive to become, we want to, but God has the final say, and there are people who are still struggling to become. So it's a rare privilege, and once it's given, I love kids, right? My desire would have been to have about 7 kids if I can.
Okay.
And if we're in Africa, it would be possible, right? But again, so so it's just amazing being a father. The feeling comes natural, and I really can't thank God enough for making me one.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Galabe. That's really amazing. Miss Olivia, you're gonna take it from here, ma'am.
Yes. All right. So, well, thank you all again so much. Right now, I know we picked these two amazing fathers, but there was something else behind it. If I understand very well, you both are running in for the president of Committee of Gentlemen in San Antonio. You know, that's something big. There's an interesting question here from Mr. Galabe. I don't know if I should
Oh,
take this.
Miss Angalabe.
Go back, and it's
You
from Miss
again.
Anse
You
Gagano. He said,
again. Mm.
"How possible, Mr. Galabe, with two wives?"
Uh-huh. Miss Angalabe, now you define your trouble.
And then I have Mr. Philbert Makechu. He said, 7 kids, Mr. CFO. Okay. So, all right, let's
Yeah,
go back.
so I think that is what, like we said, society has changed a lot, right?
Mhm.
My grandmother had 9 kids.
Oh,
Two has passed on.
okay.
We still have 7. And so as we grow, like I said, if it was in Africa, again, right, the dynamics here changes because how can you take care of the kids? Your wife has to work
And
and
pay
all
the
of that. But in
bills.
Africa,
Mhm.
you can do it. And one thing that has changed a lot is that in Africa, there's an adage that a child is that of the community, right? So when you're having kids in Africa, you don't really worry about who's going to bring up that child. Because I remember even our neighbors used Dr. Dugu to correct me, and
On
my mom
us.
Yes.
for the parents before, right?
Yes.
That also has gone away with time. Like
Yeah.
right now, hey,
Yeah.
why did you touch my child? So it's the society is evolving, a lot is evolving, right? But hey, with Mama Galabe, it's possible we could have, you know,
All right.
7 kids. Why not triplets? You know.
Okay, Miss Anse, I hope you heard that. We do not say it.
He said
Mr.
it.
Galabe said that live on his
Mhm.
own. Okay, so let's go back to where I was. So, like I said, I understand you all are running in for the post for president of Comigen. So I have let's say 3 questions for you. It's just gonna be straightforward questions that we're going to ask both of you. The very first one, I think it has to be straight to the point. I'll ask Mr. Tar, why do you want to be the president of Comigen?
Thank you very much for that. Such an interesting question. I just want to really take this opportunity to appreciate all the members of Comedian, the outgoing presidents, the current president, President Piliki, and it is an amazing thing to belong to this organization. I want to say that I've not seen any for my over 14 years in the United States. I don't know of any organization that is packed with testosterone only, right? So to me, it is an amazing challenge. It's a great opportunity to grow my leadership skills. Right, I have served as a vice president the past 2 years and under President Piliki, and I think I have learned so much. I have grown as a leader just serving on the rank of the vice president. And I think I have observed, 1 or 2 things that haven't gone the way the organization founding fathers desired for the organization to move on. I know some of the bolts that are getting dry. I know some of the bearings that are getting really tight. And I'm trying to run because I think, with my experience, my leadership, by the way, I'm a transformational leader. I'm the kind of leader that I want that by the time I'm getting out of office in this organization, literally the majority of the members, they can stand and run and lead the organization, right? I'm all about building others. You see, at the very beginning when you introduced me, you said one of the epaulets you added to me was that I'm a motivational speaker. So I want to use this skill set, which I think I mastered, to bring into the leadership, into the presidency of Comedian, right? I am not coming to reinvent the wheel. We've had 3 presidential debates, and I think I did good on the debates. Um, but I just want to say that I think one Comedian needs right now is discipline, right? Is discipline is to garner the members, bring them to the table, and make them familiarize themselves with the guiding documents of the organization, and make sure that everyone that has the organization at heart can pledge their support for the organization and can do their due diligence to commit and do their own expectations. Right? You remember, I think it was Churchill that said, "Don't ask what this country has done for me, but ask what you have done for the country." My goal, if
Yeah.
elected as a president, is
Don't.
to make sure that
It's true.
each and every member tells, I mean, each and every member has that capability to stand and talk about what they have done for the organization, right? It's not just all about coming and paying your annual registration and you don't show up for meetings, you don't show up for events and stuff like that. All the parts, all the spokes of that bicycle wheel called Comigen includes paying your registration, being financially committed, includes attending members' occasions, includes showing solidarity, includes doing all these 9 years, right? And I think maybe members might be missing on this. And that's why I feel running for the presidency, I'm going to be that cowboy that will come and take that helm, take the horse, take the whip, and put my cowboy hat and lead the organization to where it's supposed to be. I'm not reinventing the wheel, but I'm coming to serve as a president that will work hand in glove with each and every member of the organization to make sure that we attain the desired status that our organization should have. So I'm looking forward to all my members. If there's anyone here watching here, please make no mistake, vote for Don Mayan as a
They
member.
are there.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Trust me, they are watching. All right. So, Mr. Emmanuel Gabriel, I'll ask the same question to you. Why do you want to be the president of Comigen?
Okay, so thank you for that question. And again, thank you all, on Molly Show. It's been interesting. And I really think, we should have such more often, right? Different topics. So being a member of Comigen and the CFO of Comigen for the past 4 years, I have worked with, several administration. I have contributed a lot. To the organization, supporting all the presidents. And again, like I said, in my intro, I am that community person, right? When I came to this town, I called myself Passepartout. Why?
I know.
Because I believe so much in community. And community has done a lot for me. Let me just take back in my history days. When I went to the University of Yaoundé too,
Swap.
I didn't know anybody
Mhm.
from my family living in Yaoundé that could direct me to do the pre-inscription, everything. The person I went, slept with, we did everything, is a person that we all met in our student union gatherings. The friendship I made in those days. And that tells me that what the little community, your family is not just,
Yeah.
immediate people, the little community, the friendship you make, the camaraderie you gather along as a person helps you a lot in your life journey, right? So coming back to your question, first of all, my slogan is Comigen for Posterity. I have been in Comigen, several administration has come, but I've identified that there is one thing we need to do different. We need to start being at the helm of Comigen, not to make that name of, this president have done this, but this president has set a foundation that if we walk through that path, in the next 3, 4, 5 years, where will Comigen be? That is the view, that is the vision, right? That is what I want to change. And my administration, if I come in and if elected as a president, it's not to come to hurry to finish, a tax within my year. If I have a project, like I said, when I put it out there that I have a vision for Comigen to have its own headquarters, which is a building, which we can still use it for business, right? Even if it doesn't come in my administration, I've said it, we need to set a roadmap to get the precedents, things that we need to do. By the time I leave office, the next administration will see that we are probably 30 to 40% into getting that Comigen's headquarter, right? And so we will come with a project in that direction and let it die. So if we all think for posterity, if we all come with the
Yes.
mindset to make Comigen that organization that we want it to be in the next 5 years, we're going to do a lot of stuff, right? Right now, I think Comigen, we are trying to achieve, what we can achieve now. It's okay. It's okay to, but like we all are growing, we should have long-term goals, which is what I want us as Comigen to get our redirection in that direction and to put in place those long-term goals that is going to make Comigen succeed. It has already started. Gaining the 501c status alone is a whole win for Comigen. That is part of the win of the current administration, right? Led by President Epiliki. So when we build on that, what are we doing? If I tell Comigen we want to get, you know, a structure. We want to make sure that Comigen is a place to be. If we put in all the effort and we are moving in that direction with our 501c, you realize that we can actually get that. An organization can even fund that for us, right? If we do the right way, we do the right things, we can send out grant requests out there for that purpose, and we realize that funds will come in that direction. And there's a lot more that we can do. So I am going in for Comigen president also to make sure that Comigen becomes that gentlemanly association that we've all loved, right? I have seen a lot of stuff that has gone on that I think we are derailing from the gentleman's club that we are, which I think if I come in, I'm also going to make the checks and balance to ensure that we are that Comigen that we desire, that we love the association. And whatever we do is not about competition. It's about the love for community growth and the love for the organization.
Wow. Thank you for that, Mr. Galabe. Committee members watching, those were your two presidential candidates. So I am going to give one more question, pleading that we go straight to the point so we don't take so much time being live. And when we talk about this like community having, just Mr. Don Wanyan said, a very large group of men being together, we know there's money involved. There's a lot of financial, aspects involved. So I'm going to ask this question to both of you. I'll start again with Mr. Eric Ta. What are your thoughts about the current, the current financial state of Comigen at this point? What is the plan for the future with that?
Awesome, very interesting question. I want to say that in every organization, the fuel in the tank is the finances and the account. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes organizations thrive. That's what makes organizations go forward, right? To a certain level. So at this moment, I think the financial situation or the state of the union, insofar as the finances of Comgen are concerned, is very, very strong. The reason I say that is because I looked at the last financial statement that was published, right? And I looked out all the financial statement painted a picture of what Comedian has done for maybe the past 4 or 5 years. And I was very impressed. That made me to say, you know what, that's one of the reasons I really even want to be at the helm of this organization if elected as the next president. I think the financial stance of the organization is very, very strong. And I look at where the organization spend money and I see members, 800 and this here, 500 there, 500 there, going to members. I said, you know what, this is the organization I really want to be at the head because the organization has done its due diligence to make sure that it supports all its members, right? And if elected as the next president, unlike my fellow presidential aspirant mentioned, Gentleman Galabe, we have a 501c3 status. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to the organization? How is that going to benefit the members, right? And if elected as the next president, I'm going to make sure that I work. As a matter of fact, I've been reaching out to certain individuals that I know they have that technical know-how, they have that knowledge, they have the network, they have the knowledge, they have what it takes to be able to leverage the benefits that come with the 501c3 status of an organization. And I'll be making the calls. And if elected, I'm going to make sure that we push for that, right? Where President Peliti left off, I'm going to step in there and act wind behind our sails to make sure that insofar as our 501c3 status is concerned and its benefits, we leverage that. That, in other words, is going to reflect on the finances of the organization. That is going to bring more money into our coffers. What does that mean? Members currently are paying a contribution of $200 a year. If we have 50, 60, 70,000 still in our account, why continue plaguing our members with $200 annually, right? So if I see the account sold or based on how I have implemented my leadership and leverage the skill set of members to make sure that we get donations from out there, I will use that presidential pen to sign a decree to say registration annually for members is going to drop from $20 to maybe $150, and observe that, right? You don't want to come with a drastic change. Drop $50 and observe and see how the trend is moving. If it means you bump it up again, you bump it up. If it means it's still working smoothly, you drop another couple of dollars. So if elected as the next president, I'm going to continue in the footsteps of the four presidents, the president have gone through this organization. I'm going to leverage that skill set, those that work better, and then add to what I'm also bringing to the table to make sure that Comedian becomes the best you can think about in the company, in our community here in San Antonio. So thank you for that question.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Don Manyan. Mr. Emmanuel Galabi, I'm just going to ask you the same question. What are your thoughts about the current financial state of Comigen?
First of all, Comigen is financially where Comigen members want it to be, right? As the treasurer of Comigen for the past 4 years,
Okay.
we have raised, tremendous income, and we have done a lot of things. Comigen has a constitution, right? Now, before you spend, you have to be approved. I mean, before you spend more than 500, it has to be approved by the GA. What does that mean?
Mhm.
It means that the only thing that the ESCO, the administration, have spent, if they have finished, is $500 from Comigen coffers, which means that whatever expenses that has been carried out of that, it's the will of Comigen members. We all vote in the assembly. We decide that, oh, we had our board right. We all vote for our board right. We went for our board right. So Comigen is financially where the members want it to be. Do we want to be, you know, in a better place? The answer is yes, right? Obviously, no matter how much you have in your bank account, you always strive to want more, right? You always
Yeah.
strive to increase it so that you can, achieve a lot of things, do other plans, or carry out other projects that you have. And that is where I'm coming in as the current presidential aspirant, and I've thrown it out there in my roadmap, the Comigen financial plan I have. First of all, we're going to leverage our 501c, to request grants. Yes, grants are not immediate incomes, right? Sometimes I can place a grant for the next 2 years. It doesn't mature. Maybe it's going to mature, in the days of the next president. Who knows, right? But again, we have to get started. But now I also have in there, we have to raise funds, right? We have to raise more funds. We are my roadmap has a fundraise program where we're going to be having our fundraising, and I have earmarked a whole lot of people that have worked together that are ready to support our organization, right? Even back in the companies I work in, they also have support for 501c organization. And I've already put it out there to them that, what, we need to support my own organization as well. The last debate I shared my discussion, with Comigen members to, the HR on that, telling them that, hey, because we have this program, I am part of the organization. I sent out the website for them to see the things we've done, to see where they can support. And I believe that every corporate organization in the US has that same department, because they use that to leverage their taxes as well. They would preferably give those donations for companies to carry out projects so they can leverage their tax. So I'm calling on all Comigen members to take advantage of that, right? So we all can bring Comigen to another financial level. We desire to have a bigger bank account so we can realize more, and I am shooting in that direction. Thank you.
Wow. Well. Thank you all so much. This was amazing, as we all can see. Thank
I
you all
know.
again. Yes, we were planning to have this show for 30 minutes, and here we are. We are almost,
This
one
is so
hour. But
exciting to you. Mm-hmm.
yes, everybody, it was so interactive. And Comedian members,
Yeah.
next show, you better hold the next episode. Let it not be that people are just here because people know that Mr. Galabe and Mr. Erica is here. Next show, you all have to be online, as I'm seeing you all here. So, but I have some questions from Mr. Wine Chong and Mr. F.Y. Carey. He says, okay, Mr. Wine Chong is more of a comment. He says, thanks for taking comedian from the inside to the outside. You're welcome, Mr. Wanchong. It says, comedian to the world, and good job to the presidential candidates, Mr. Galabe and Mr. Ta. So, Mr. Yula Kari says he has a question for the candidates. So, do you have a vision for like a unified Cameroonian community? Like, can we join? Can Camcosa, Savet, Comedian become one with an ESCO? What is your take on that? That's a question from the comments. So we can have 1 minute to talk about it. So let's not run out of time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if I might want to talk about this, I don't know if you all can hear me. Hey, Patrick, just wanna give a big shout out to you for this. So this is how I look at it, right? You know, if you look at the United States of America, we have a central government in Washington D.C., and then you have independent states, especially like our state in Texas, right? So I would say that that is how it's architected. And if you look detailed in San Antonio, you see that it's architected in compartments, but they are functioning again as one unit, right? And I
Yeah.
look at it, if I want to think IT terms, I would call it a microservice. Microservices. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Camcosa, majority of all of us in Commigen, we're in Camcosa. When it comes to Savet, it's the same thing.
The
When it
same.
comes to Commigen, it's the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So and I've seen in occasions, we've showed them in occasions, and they say it's Commigen goes out there with a
Goes
group.
out.
They say it's
Campus.
Camcosa, same members, they go out there with a group. They say it's Savet, those are the soccer lovers, they go out there with a group. So I haven't seen any friction thus far insofar as these organizations in our community is concerned. I think the status quo for right now is functioning, and I don't see any need trying to actually shove all the sardines in one can. Uh, we are functioning as microservices, but again, in a unified manner,
Together.
you know. So I think we can let it stay as it is for right now. But in the future, if there's a call for a unified front, hey, why not? We can still
I
do
know.
that and
Yeah.
see the organizations and work on it. So thank you for that question, Piker.
Mr. Galab, any comments on that?
Sure. First of all, thank you for that question, Parker. Right, I'm just gonna make it snappy. Camcosa has been our mother organization, as we all call it, and we all
Yeah.
know that it's the mother organization. So, to your
Yeah.
question, is Commigen necessary? Yes, the men need to sit and discuss men issues, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
unity sister necessary? Women need their corner, right? They need to talk
Mm-hmm.
about their stuff. Is Savet necessary? Yes, soccer lovers,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
right? There are people who are
Parking
not
lot.
soccer lovers, right? Who are not part of
Okay.
Savet, right? So you choose those. But when it comes to Camcosa, we have all agreed that that is the mother organization. Now, to answer your question more further, would be that do we want to solidify Camcosa? The answer is yes. We have a mother umbrella that all of us identify as our mother umbrella. Let's solidify that so that when they talk about San Antonio, they are talking about Camcosa. When they want to see the gentlemen of San Antonio, we are talking about Commigen. We want to see the ladies, the
Beautiful
powerful
ladies.
ladies, about the unity sister. When you want to see soccer, the San Antonio veteran is out there, right? And then when you want the San Antonio community,
All right.
Camcosa is out to represent. That is how I see it. And if we all can solidify this, but it's been working. We had a unified calendar that has been going out, but I think if I come in, I'm gonna work with all the presidents. So we have one event, right? We are all one family. Let's work in one direction. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
people,
Thank
I
you
don't
so
know if
much.
you guys can still hear me, but for some reason my system is shutting down. I guess one of those schedules shut down. So if I'm out
Okay.
because of that, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, but thank you, guys. So, my ladies, this was amazing, right?
Right.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
I
thank you guys
know.
for coming. Yeah, we are so happy you came, Mr. Ta. Thank you. This is a great session. This is one of the episodes that we'll never forget, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
It's
And
true.
to our viewers out there, we also
Hello.
say thank you for your patience. Usually, we
Thank
always
you.
spend 20 minutes, but today, because it was so interesting and we had to go a little longer, we apologize for taking more of your time. And
Yes.
I want to say you have continued to like us, follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok,
Yes.
and on Instagram.
Yeah. So we still have a lot of comments. I'm sorry we cannot take them all.
Mhm.
We really wanted to keep it at 1 hour, but we have Miss Sylvie Bash saying hi. We have Miss Sabina. We have Miss Anse says the Molly show is going places. Molly show to work with us, so our beautiful host. You all look fabulous. Good luck to
Oh,
Mr. Galabe and Mr. VP for the upcoming election. And we want to, of course, we had to say that, of course, Igor, good luck in the election coming up.
yes.
The better candidate win. You both are amazing.
Mhm.
When the party is coming up for the new president, don't forget to invite the Molly show. We'll
Okay,
show up.
we'll be there.
We'll show up.
Absolutely.
So please continue to drop your comments. And I think from all of us, it's thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Until
you
we
all
see
very
you
much.
again.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next
Thank
time.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.